We plug it in, it springs to life. 8-bit dreams in a modern night. Commander X16, you light the screen with color.
Hello, it's Luke Darks Out again, and it's been, a few days since my last video where I showed the Commander X16 display turned upside down. Well, one of the comments suggested portrait mode. Now, he was kidding, but I took it seriously. I'm like, yeah, that is possible. And although I didn't plan on doing this, it didn't take long to get those wheels turning, and now I own a monitor capable of rotation. Not just to show, that guy that I can, do it, because imagine a vertical shooter, like the kind you played in the arcades in the late 80s, early 90s. The Commander X16 has enough power to do that sort of thing. Now, as far as how advanced a shooter, well, that's up to the the hardware and the coder. How good are you at doing your job? So there's a limit here. I don't know what it is, but I might want to try it. And well, I guess this is only 2026, so I'm pretty certain even if I did, it won't be this year. But anyways, let's take a look at that monitor. And yeah, okay, so let's just pretend. Let's check this out. Okay, so the display is now turned sideways. I'm getting either braver or smarter or lazier. I'm not sure what the word is, but I actually rotated these characters one at a time where they're sitting. These are the only ones the kernel has access to. These are the ones at BENQ GW2780, and this other gibberish. It's unavoidable at this stage because I'm still using the kernel. I am basically taking the kernel that starts at BENQ B1000 and taking the first 60 characters and putting them here and doing that and doing that. They tried to be smart. Unfortunately, that smartness kind of, stopped me cold because I can't tell it to make the screen wider or deeper than it normally goes. So I can't make it internally, say, be 60 across, but 80 down because it's greater than 60, which is the normal limit. Okay, I'm standing up at the moment, but just so you can see what it looks like vertically, it's impressive. And I measured the screen like the old, when it's landscape, I guess they call it. I measured the blue area, 33.6 centimeters tall, 45 centimeters wide. That was the same with my old monitor and this new one that I bought just yesterday. And it's almost the exact same ratio when I'm using an LCD television. So this is it. It's not stretching it out of place any further than it normally should. This stuff, unfortunately, just pretend that's all blue, right? But at the moment, look at this. Imagine all of that is now graphics, like a space shooter, and you got your little ship and you're flying around and it's scrolling and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, here's the source. It's very similar to the last code because, I basically brought it back in and made just a few changes. And here is where the character set and the screen are going to be located. The kernel's version is at BENQ F1000 and the screen is at BENQ B1000. Well, once I get things set up and I switch to layer 0 like last time, I'm using the old character set, which I'm going to modify directly where it is, and the new layer is at 7000. So let's look at this first routine. This is the character set flipper. Now, we're going to have our read pointer is at F1000, BENQ 1, stride 1, whatever. Our write pointer is also at F1000. And what we're going to do is we copy one character, 8 bytes. We copy it to right here, 22, 23. We copy it there. So as we do this, the Vera data 1, like the line, the pointer for line 1 starts at F1000, and by the time it copies one character completely, it's now at F1008. But the write pointer is still at F1000. Anyway, so what we do is we take our letter, like say we have big letter A, we take this bit, shove it out, cram it into the, well, it just wiggles into the accumulator. Then we push then we go up a line, push out a bit from there, and or roar it into the accumulator, do it again, do it again. So basically every bit 0 gets stuffed into the accumulator, and now we have our first byte of the new character. And when we're done, we save it. So it gets written to F1000. And then, well, we have to do this 8 times. So our copy slowly is losing bits out the right edge, and they get collected into the accumulator, and F1000, F1001, F1002, F1002. You see? All we have to do now, we don't even have to count to 256. We wait until the pointer is exactly 2 kilobytes done. As soon as it increments itself to F800, we know we're done, because that's exactly the amount of data it takes. This is well, kind of similar but different. Our read pointer, we're reading it from the very first line of Vera, right, at B1000, stride of 2, because we're going to skip the color attributes, you know. And it's a little messed up here, but it makes sense to me. Unfortunately, hopefully it makes sense to you if you think about it. But we're going to start Y equals 0, because we're going to do 120 of these across. So we're starting at B1000 exactly, right? And what do we got? So now we're switching to line 1, and we put the low byte is going to be 0 as well, but it's 0 AB00. And here's the crazy part. Our right pointer is going to be BENQ 1, but it's going to be a stride of minus 256. So like we're going to start here, and after we write something or whatever, it's going to jump 256 backwards. And so this one moves up, this one moves across, and that's what the rollout does. The 60 bytes, well, you can imagine, this does this 60 times. It reads from one, writes to the other. So it basically will read all the characters and put them in this stripe. So after we do our rollout, we have to, get ready to do the next line. But in this case, we have to do 120 stripes up the screen. And once we're done that, we just leave and we're done. But what we do right off the bat, we'll increment Y, and if it's not 120, it never is, well, until the end. We take that first bit, and on the odd ones, that's when we do the loop 860. We go back, so we're doing the color stripe. The second time around, it's just colors. And we're reading the colors from here, writing the colors up the line. And then after that, well, we're back to an even one. So when this is even, it falls through, and that's where we increment, finally, the B1000 to B1. But we always start at AB1000 for the right pointer. We just start with a different Y, because we have to do 120 different columns. So when we're done, we're done. If you made an editor, you can make it do whatever you want to. So right now, I am forbidden from using this territory vertically with the kernel, because I'm basically copying the kernel screen, because the kernel has built-in limitations to stop me from doing things that it deems unsafe. I'm going to type in a few lines of code in the monitor here. Let's see if I can get into the monitor vertically here. Oh, I can. Okay. Oh, man, I wish I had this memorized, because I would just type it in right now. But let me go look. I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. Look how simple this is. It's going to wait for the interrupt, set the fine scroll, the horizontal scroll registers, and slowly increment them once per interrupt. And that's it. It's doing it for layer 0, because we're looking at layer 0 right here. But watch this. Now, I'm going to hit enter. You ready? Woohoo! Return. Okay, here we go. Doop-a-doo. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Imagine, this is, well, I guess it's going the wrong way. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. Now, what was that flicker? Let me think for a moment. Interesting. That shouldn't happen at all. Ooh, look, we got something here. I'm liking it. Why do I like it? Because it's not right. This is kind of why projects end up taking a year. Okay, so I made some quick hacks. Let me tell you, I needed some room. So this LDX, I'm going to replace that with a JSR that goes here, because now I'm going to use 2 bytes here use them in my fine scroll registers, and then leave, and then you'll do, because the thing is, my interrupt would do the entire copy and then do the scrolling bit, because this waits for an interrupt. Well, once the interrupt happens, it does the interrupt, and then it does this. So this is me being clever now, because it's going to do the scrolling bit first while we're in the blanking interval, and then it's going to do the heavy lifting of copying all the crap. So we shouldn't get any flicker. We shouldn't get that line in the center. And I've got to now go back in. Well, right now it's running. So if I change this, we are going to have, ooh, I wonder. No, I can't trust it, because the interrupt's going to strike in between me changing 3 different bytes, and it's going to crash. But I got to get out of here and do this the landscape way, change this to a JSR ZOF100, and then I'll rerun it, and it'll rotate the screen and basically start scrolling all at once. I'll be right back. See how hard this is to type? Like, just even to see it standard when you've got the screen rotated. So here, let me back up a bit. Ooh, wow. The thing is, if I plan to make a game that is like a portrait mode shooter, for instance, I don't want to have to move the screen, edit, move it back, test it. So it's probably going to be a smart idea if I do make any sort of editor or program or whatever, have it work in landscape or portrait. But anyway, let's see. JSR OF100. This should work. Please accept it. And once I hit enter on it, these 3 bytes here should change. Let's see if they do. Haha, yep, it's good. So let's get out of here. This should do everything. Oh man, I tried to make this video quicker and end up rambling again, but here we go. How's that? Oh, did I see a flicker? I might have missed it because I was too busy gloating. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Let me think. I'm not sure. That's interesting though. But now that I'm getting it on video, whatever, I can deal with this later. Maybe I'll cut in again, being all proud that I figured that out. But you see what I mean though? Because all you have to do in a shooter is keep feeding data ahead of the scroll. To do this on the Commodore 64 is doable, but very complicated and very time consuming. And never mind the fact that I'm basically spending, a huge chunk of my CPU time rotating the screen because I'm copying from elsewhere. If you're doing it yourself as a game or your own editor, you don't have that overhead. So this is just as a demo. But boy, that flicker is really bugging me. I'm going to go digging. BRB. I figured it out. Let's see. I'm going to rotate the phone. You know what the problem is? It's the double decrement. Because, see, this is the lowest byte, and I put it in the fine scroll. The higher byte, I put it in the more coarse scroll. And then I decrement that. And most of the time it's not 0, so we just leave, right? There's the RTS. And then when it's not, we decrement the higher value. All right, so here's our fix. Let's take a look. If this location is 0, we decrement the high byte and the low byte. But if it's not 0, then we just decrement the low byte only. And then we take that value, throw it into our scroll registers, fill X with 9F25 like we're supposed to, and leave. This should work. So let's get out of here. I haven't tested it, but it's going to work. I can guarantee it. Of course, I've said that before and I've been wrong. But anyway, this should take care of that occasional flicker. Look at that beauty. That's how easy it is to scroll on the Commander X16. I mean, I'm not going to bother making, some graphics for you and showing you what it might look like. You can imagine. Think of all the shooters from the mid to late 80s that were basically this formation. Wow. My biggest weakness, I can foresee the biggest problem I'm going to have in the future is music. I suck at music and I don't know what I'm doing. So Well, I haven't hit that hurdle yet, but